So in this tutorial, I show how to install PyMC, which is a library for doing probabilistic inference, and then I demonstrate how to do it for a few cases like temperature and so on. I show how to install the examples. This is for Psi 390, and the first thing you can do is go to the website that I've set up. It's just a simple list of links, and we're going to install PyMC first. And I've set up a zip file just for that. So if you just click on PyMC, it should download the .zip file. I'm using Chrome. You can use anything anything else that you want. You'll need to find the downloads. I usually show it in the folder, so then it'll show all my downloads in the folder. So what I usually do is I usually just move these things out of the downloads folder onto the desktop for now, just so that I can work with it a little bit. So there we have it. Don't just double click on this. Do a right click and extract all, and extract it wherever it is. So then you hit extract, and then it should extract the files. The extraction might take a little while, but when it's done, there'll be a folder called PyMC. In that folder, there's another folder called PyMC, and then when we open that up, there's going to be a number of different files, and I've made a runme.bat, and that it actually does the installation. So if you double click on that, the little black, you say run, a window will pop up that looks like this, and it will run through. There's going to be a fair amount of text that flies by, and then eventually this window will disappear and everything should be okay. Just so that you can see what it looks like, it's going to scroll like this for a while it's compiling it and then installing it. Pause. Alright, several minutes later, the black screen disappears, and I can close this window. If I now run PyLab, and I get my window coming up, I should be able to import PyMC. So I should be able to say, and this is just a check to make sure everything worked. I should be able to say import PyMC, and it should just give me nothing really, actually, but no error should occur. And there we go. Okay, so now I can actually, I'll close this out for right now. Close. Okay, and I can actually delete both of these. I don't need them anymore. Once it's installed once, it doesn't need any. Okay, back to the 390 website. I'm going to look at PyMC work. Those are the work files that I set up that look at the data. I'm going to show it in the folder. I'm going to minimize Chrome. I'm going to move PyMC work out of here, and then close that, and then extract all. Right click and extract all. Hit extract, and it does its thing, and there's our folder. Okay. All right, before I open it up, I'm going to right click on the PyLab link and copy. I'm going to copy a version in the PyMC work. So I'm going to open this up, and then go. I should be able to right click somewhere and hit paste. Okay, so now I have a PyLab link in this work folder, and I can run PyLab and get that window over. Now the first one I'm going to look at is, and I'm going to just resize some of this window so that I can work in this. The first one I'm going to look at is temperature example 1. I'm going to right click and edit with Notepad++. And move that. Okay, I'm going to move that over so that I'll be able to see this. Okay. Okay, so now there's a little switcheroo in the source here. So okay, so temperature example 1 looks like this. On the left-hand side, I don't expect you to understand all of it, but pretty much what it's doing is it's reading the data from this data file, and I'll show you. And that data file is that same one that we looked at in class. It's the cleaned up version of the temperatures that are off by temperature anomalies that we have to divide by 100 in order to get the values of. We can go over here. This is the actual. These are the actual values, and so essentially we read them in, and we get. I'm just going to close this guy out. Okay, we read them in, divide by 100. We get the year, and we get the January to December data. And we have a model that's a simple constant. That's the first one that we'll look at. And then when we look at the values of the model, essentially we fit the model, and we look at the mean and standard deviation, and then we plot the distribution. So if we go into Python, and this is called temperature example 1, and now that this is the PyLab that I ran. From the PyMC work folder, I run temperature example 1.py, and what I get is a figure coming up that looks like this. Okay. And again, what we have is this model assumes that this data is all just a constant. The best value of that constant is just a little below 0, and this is the 95% confidence range that we have. And this is our one parameter, and this gives us our uncertainty in the value of this parameter. Right, so if we pull up temperature example 2, it looks almost identical, except that instead the model is simple linear. So there's a slope and an intercept, so there are 2 parameters, and then I have some plotting and so on. And again, the data is here, so you can switch out the data and run exactly the same thing, and simply just change the data and change the titles and look at the same thing. When I run temperature example 2, I get figures that look like this. I have the main line fit, and then I have the uncertainties on both of the parameters. This is the slope, and this is the intercept. And then we can always clean this up afterward. So essentially, this is the shows a positive slope, and there's very little. This is the 0 point. So there's we're very confident that at least the slope is above 0, that the trend is positive. And we can look at different models this way. So pretty much these example files show how to run these scripts, and all you have to do is just copy them, edit them for your own data, and run them, and then interpret the results.